I spoke up and I said, I'd like to be taken care of on this one. And Cody said, hey, you guys don't get me without Kingdom.
We've seen so many bands play. What about you? We're going to see you at WrestleMania?
We'll have to wait and see.
Who's on your Mount Rushmore of entrance music?
Stone Cold, Randy Orton, APA, just that Attitude Era, that late 90s.
Who's your next project?
We're getting hit up by a
Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40. Who do you want to win?
I want to hear my song played twice Sunday night.
What's going on, wrestling fans? It is I, Steve, and welcome to 10 Count right here on Wrestling News Co. On today's edition, I'm talking to someone that you might not know, realize that you're the one singing his song all the time when Cody Rhodes comes out. It's Zack from Downstait. How are you doing today?
What's happening, everybody? Glad to be on. Let's go.
Man, all right, let's go, because according to The Rock, you're a crybaby. You know, according to a lot of us who support Cody Rhodes, we're all crybabies. How do you feel about that? Because you represent Cody, and yet somehow we're all crybabies.
I'm not sure how legit we're supposed to be here. And so I feel like I got a little bit of insider trading just with having some relationship with some of the guys. And I still feel like they're really, really good at even playing the people. If they can play us involved, then it's really, really good. I am hoping that they're smart enough writing wise to have this plan the whole time, because when Cody initially gave up his spot, it was I was a crybaby, full blown crybaby.
Same.
I loved it. I hated every minute of that. It felt like the longest. It's not 2 years for us in the band, it's 6 years, 6 long years since we started the journey with him. And when he took a chance on us, and we we'll follow you till the end, like, not that that was the end. It definitely felt like it was the road to something close to the end, which what we're trying to talk about. And when it just felt like the rug was yanked again. And I remember talking to a couple of my buddies up at a bar, and like, being full grown adult, I don't have a whole bunch of wrestling talks. And I remember I had a few in me, and I was just like, I'm pissed off right now, and just talking about why I was pissed off. And it was because I thought The Rock was stealing Cody's spot.
Agreed. Yes.
They got me.
It was weird. Because for so long people have been clamoring for The Rock versus Roman, and then you were given it to you, but yet you were given it at the wrong time, which is like weird. It'd be like, like you're 12 years old and all you want to do is a bike, and your dad buys you a car instead. You're like, well, I can't do anything with this. I've wanted the bike I wanted a car, in the future, but that's the future. Give me my bike now. And the bike to me was Cody Rhodes getting his story finished against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, the biggest WrestleMania of all time. So to me, yes, it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
But let's start from the beginning though. How did you get involved with Cody Rhodes, and how did your song end up being his entrance music?
So I've told it a few times before, but it was really, really weird. We were kind of a dying brand. Downstait was, and Matt Cardona, I can never thank him. I can never thank The Miz, Alex Riley, and Dolph enough. Jim Johnston was reaching out to us a little bit periodically. Wow. But that was in like 2010 through 12 when we were working more steadily with them, and we were still signed with Universal Republic. Come 13, come 14, we're out doing some spot shows. My brother's about to start a family, and we had lost our drummer. And our bass player Sean really needed to stop going back and forth, dropping out of school. So it was just kind of like, hey guys, we're the band thing happened. We all did it. We'll still make and record songs for these people when they ask, but we got to move on with our lives and be adults now.
Yeah.
So Cardona had heard us we just did some stuff for the fans, including like there's this show, Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers. We covered that theme song, and it really was awesome. It sounded like something we would do. And we also asked the fans on Twitter, hey, what else should we cover? And by a large margin, they asked us to do radio. So this is, I want to say, in 2012, 2013. It could be earlier than that. And my brother hates when I botch these I get timeline's terrible,
You're
and
like,
he just
in 1882, I believe, is when we bumped into George
I
Washington.
might be a decent storyteller, but it is it's there's some fabrication somewhere
Yeah,
on dates every once in a while. But yeah, so around 2012, 2013, he had heard the cover. He was kind of getting back into the Long Island IZ thing, and he asked us to use our version of radio. And he used it just on the web series. And then come a year later, he's like, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and rebrand myself. I want to use your guys' version of radio." That kind of got the ball rolling again. I want to say that was in a end of 2014, 2015 area. My brother, again, he'll probably comment on this and say you're an idiot. It was 2016, which very well could be. It kind of got us, made people remember us again. And Zack got it on TV. Matt got it on TV. And Cody was doing his Stardust thing and was frustrated. And us as fans, and that's the other thing. I wanted to be a professional wrestler for the longest time. I a rock star, baseball player, professional wrestler, like kind of my only three options ever in life, and I went really hard at all of them. So we, being such a fan of this, I knew Cody for forever. I knew huge Gold Dust guy, huge Dusty guy. Like it's a little before my time, but like I think I'm a historian when it comes to some of the stuff, and I studied Cody and loved him all the way through every single run that he had. And I just was like, this guy is awesome. I love Ted as well in that legacy run, but I really, really love Cody. And you could just see it in some of his promos. And I was like, this guy gives a shit.
yeah,
This is really, really good stuff. He gets into the Stardust thing, and I loved it. I was a big fan of Arrow when he got to do the thing with Stephen Amell. I was like, this. I was watching Arrow as that was happening, but you could still tell he got the peak of that at that SummerSlam, and it was just everything after that. It just kind of felt whatever. Even the brother tag team storyline was so good, and that should have catapulted everything into the
yeah,
main event picture. And it just felt like they just kept pulling the rug the same way they kind of did with his dad the whole time he was there, same way they kind of did with his brother the whole time he was there. And I get not everybody can be the champion, but eventually one of those guys that you shit on so much, you have to catapult one of them into that thing. And it felt like Cody and Dolph had a really good summer, and they didn't really do it with either of them. And I remember JR putting them over the whole time. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm just a
I love it.
huge fan of those guys. I remember that summer, JR putting them over and saying one of these two guys will be uh, champion one day, and Dolph got injured unfortunately, and then they really pumped the brakes on him, and we were representing him at the time, and Cody was having these amazing matches, but mostly he wasn't working TV. He was promoting stuff and being a shit heel, and it was just like, this guy clearly gets it. This
Yeah,
guy should be a mega star. They get into the Stardust thing. You could see that he's discouraged by it when, as soon as he leaves, he puts out this tweet saying, what song should I use on the indies? And again, we're kind of a dying brand, but Matt Cardona had given us a little bit of life, and I never be able to thank him enough. He gives us a little bit of notoriety. We get a little bit of traction on Twitter. I see Cody put out, what song should we use on the indies? And I said, Justin, that's my brother. I go, Justin, you need to reach out to him, see if we can take a crack at this. I know Cody. I know, never met the guy, but I know his character, and I feel like we can nail his frustration. We got lucky with somebody recommending him use Throne by Bring Me the Horizon, and I was listening to that album on repeat in the gym every single day, probably 2 or 3 times a day. Back when I was trying to be a wrestler, I knew exactly what he wanted. Sean and I got drunk in a basement for about 2 days, and just, I mean, I went out and I hit on his dad's promo, the Hard Times promo, and I was like, I think if this doesn't work, then I don't have a clue what he wants. And we
mhm,
threw out those lyrics to him, and he shortly got back to us with, I love it, record it, let's go with it. And then he had it in Evolve and TNA Battleground, and or Bound for Glory, and then overseas in New Japan, and then everything Ring of Honor. The Ring of Honor run I thought was incredible, and then AEW All In, all the above. Like, it was just amazing that he did everything he promised when he said he had it, and he started doing promos about it, and the song started getting over a little bit. He said he would take it everywhere with him, and that's kind of what happened. So
You
I'm
understand?
sorry for the long wind there, but
No, 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 not at all, man. These are stories where
yeah.
people want to hear the stories. And now the thing with that too, the song Kingdom is that there was some people singing it randomly in AEW, but when he came to the WWE and the night at WrestleMania and he fought Seth Rollins and he came out with that song, everyone knew it from AEW and other previous organizations. Cody has said he kind of put his foot down that he wasn't going to come to WWE without that song. Now, are you in contact with him? Because the world sort of knew that Cody, it was like the best, worst kept secret that Cody was coming to the WWE, but yet we didn't know the version of Cody Rhodes we would see in the song. So are you in contact with him before he ends up in the WWE about the music? Because I'm guessing lawyers have to get involved.
So, we were very aware he had gotten in touch with us. My brother and him talk a little bit more. My brother usually writes majority of our skeletons of his stuff before Sean and I step in and do melodies and lyrics on
Mhm.
everything to completely vibe out the character. Actually, on Kingdom, Sean kind of nailed most of the writing on that skeleton wise, but for the most part, Justin handles all of our business transactions or interactions, and we either go through Cody or Cody's agent Brian. And on this one particular, we were all in contact. He made us aware that he was trying. I want to say around Christmas time, around January, and this one's going to be more accurate because it was
It was
around
sooner. Yeah.
Mania, yeah, in the 90 days or whatever it was happening, and he they got us on a conference call. I want to say it's Cody and Brian were definitely there. The whole band was there. Me, Sean, um, and Justin were there, and our representative is our bass player, Sean slash singer. He's also a lawyer, so he could help us out a little bit with that, but it's a little different in entertainment. And then WWE's people were on, and I don't know who that consists of because it was just a lot of room, um, a lot of people on a phone call. But more or less, what happened? Cody went into the meeting. Everybody was kind of being super nice to each other, and they were kind of talking the logistics on everything. And um, I said my piece. We as Downstate have a lot of spins with a lot of songs that we've done, but we got paid very little to do that before, and that's fine because we didn't write any of those songs. Jim did, but we performed them, and there's still
Mhm.
some. We felt like if we're on TV every week, we need to be taken care of a little bit more than what we were doing. But honestly, we were glorified karaoke guys, and we get it. We honestly did, but there just felt like there's a piece of the pie that was missing. We wrote this song. This is our baby, and I spoke up and I said, "Hey, I'm on 11 video games and I work a 9 to 5. I work 3 jobs at home and still do this music thing. Like I'm, borderline miserable over there. I'd like to be taken care of on this one in any way
Yeah.
possible, which is just normal for TV." And I said my piece. I was getting pretty emotional, and Cody broke the silence and said, "Hey, you guys you don't get me without Kingdom." And it was just one of the coolest moments of my life. Didn't feel like me standing up for it actually sold it. I think Cody was going to stand his ground, but I think my sob story probably lent into what he was going to say anyways. It was pretty cut and dry from there, and we've been taken care of, and we've been able to still have our 9 to 5s, but live a little more comfortably now that we're on TV and we own all of our rights.
Of course. Now, Cody, if you ever go on like A&E and watch the Dusty Rhodes documentary, Cody and Dustin admit at times, well, Cody more than ever, is there were tough times in the Rhodes house when Dusty was at home just being a father. And so you uh creating this baby obviously want a piece of the pie because we have seen it over and over and over and over with big corporations taking a piece of what you've made and making billions off of it when you get paid. Here's $200. Thanks for making this. And then you're screwed because what are you
Yeah.
going to do? How are you supposed to fight that? With Cody Rhodes on your side, obviously leading to that. And when he comes out, you've obviously seen it. You've obviously heard it. The whoa, the people, every town, people somehow in the beginning were believing that it was like piped in. This can't be real. And now in London, in France, in Germany, they all sing the lyrics and the whoa is the biggest one. How does that feel knowing this, that your song is not just heard by millions around the world of a popular wrestler who's like almost the face of the company, everyone singing it and the whoa, like the evolution of the whoa, like where does that come from?
It comes from Jim's creation back in the day. So it's real funny. I did a rendition of Smoke and Mirrors. I don't think they ever used it for anything. I did a few versions
A
of other.
whoa,
Yeah,
there's only smoke and
yeah.
mirrors. Okay, yeah.
So us just we're big comic book guys, and we're big cinema guys, and anything you can do to throw Easter eggs at people that give a shit, like we thought we were helping. I can't take any credit for this one at being our wrestling nerd. Uh, Sean was just like, "Hey man, throw that in there." And when after he threw the woe in, I was like, "God damn it, man, that's that means so much more than you're aware." And I'm not positive that he was aware what he was doing was so important to the lineage of Cody's songs.
Mhm.
But when he did it, I was like, son of a bitch, man. That's such a smart thing. It's such a beautiful big thing. And he's like, we want people singing with it. And that was his end goal with it. And then it tied in with everything else. The coolest thing that we've got going, me being a big baseball guy, actually, I played ball with the groundskeeper out in for the Chicago Cubs, and he tells me like when he's cleaning up Wrigley Field, when he's getting the field ready, he's listening to us every once in a while. I was like,
Nice.
that's so my music playing in Wrigley Field. I haven't actually seen a cut of anybody doing that, but then somebody grabbed Yankee Stadium playing Kingdom. I'm like, what the hell's going on? The Yankees are playing. And then it would have been 2 weekends ago. Like, as much as me being American and loving baseball and football, like Premier League soccer is just bigger than all of it. And West Ham was playing us 2 weekends ago. So Cody being this mega star, yeah, I mean he's rivaling John Cena's run at this
Oh, yeah.
point with his baby. Like he's the biggest dude on the planet right now. It's incredible. And with him being that big, he's taken our songs to just incredible heights. And I guess I'm a West Ham fan now.
Just because of that song. No, no.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's amazing to hear, and, you have performed Cody to the Ring before. WrestleMania 40, are there plans for you and the band to play the song? Because 'Cause we've seen it before. DX, the band, played for DX coming to the ring in 1998 in the Boston Garden, well, the Fleet Center at WrestleMania 14. We have seen Run DMC, we have seen TLC, we've seen so many different bands play, Saliva for one as well. What about you? We're gonna see you at WrestleMania?
So we're gonna leave that to our announcement on 4/5 of 24 and all of our teasers. We'll have to wait and see what's going on there. But I will talk about Chicago and playing them out to the ring and how
Yeah.
cool it was. It like you can't really hear it on the thing, but there was enough woes that came back to me on that day. That you could physically feel the air move. Like it's a powerful thing when it was 14 and a half or 16 and a half thousand people in that arena at the Wintrust, the Big Trust Arena in Chicago. And you could feel the air move on that. Hammered on Malorts for that day. Our buddy came up from Nashville. He's been a lifelong Downstait fan, and he also brought up a fifth of Jack, and we were drinking it with that choir that sang Chris Jericho out to the ring all the way up until I went out and performed. It was awesome.
Well,
Three
what
minutes, man. I can be hammered for 3 minutes, man.
Yeah, as long as you can get it out, as long as you get the words out and
Yep.
play the song straight, you're good, you're
Yep.
good. Yeah, that was a great performance, so hopefully, fingers crossed that the announcement is it's you and the DX band having a band battle at WrestleMania 40, because I
So
always thought for my entire life that was Rage Against the Machine for so long in my life, and then one day I think I looked it up curious, I was like, "Wait, that's not Rage. Huh, it's the DX band." No, I
it's
don't really.
funny that 1998 performance. That's Jim on guitar.
Jim Johnston
If you just look at the guy that doesn't look like he's in a band,
belongs there.
it's Jim. I can tell you this. I will be in Philadelphia WrestleMania weekend.
As a fan or performer.
I'm always a fan.
Okay. Okay. I think we'll see you there. Um, so it's funny because I love performances like that. WrestleMania it always has a special feeling. It's just different. Like last year at WrestleMania, I was there on the floor watching a bunch of pianos being playing while Roman Reigns came out. And I'm like, what's happening here? Like, this is amazing. Like Rey Mysterio coming on the low rider to Eddie Guerrero's old music. Dom with the weird. He was in jail and then came out. Like that stuff's the best. So hopefully we get to see you perform at WrestleMania 40 and everyone doing the whoa and going batshit crazy. And now your involvement with wrestling isn't just with Cody Rhodes. You know, you've been involved with Dolph Ziggler and you know, you brought out Matt Cardona. Seth Rollins, Burn It Down. What's your involvement with that song?
It was similar to how we had attacked Cardona's radio, Writers Radio. We just put out a thing asking people what they wanted us to cover, and we put out a few. We had a few prepared, but Rollins had won by a landslide. We went down to the basement, same basement we wrote Kingdom in, and we just put some words on it. Sean had always wanted to scream on a track like that, and I really wanted to be Kill Switch Engage on a track, and just try to get my Howard out on something, and we did that. Seth was kind enough to like retweet it and give it a little steam. It's actually for never being on TV. I think it's our biggest song ever that hasn't gotten pushed by a TV promotion, and it's just because of the popularity of Seth as well. And then people really were pushing for him to get that. And then shortly thereafter, after we did the cover, he got that "Burn It Down" as a part of the intro. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's people love to sing. You know, it's funny as people sing his song, he has no lyrics except Burn It Down.
Hmm.
It's the everyone loves to sing that. And so the choir again last year, WrestleMania as well. So hopefully you perform. So who's on your Mount Rushmore of entrance music then? Because there's so much out there, generations, decades of entrance music. Do you have a Mount Rushmore?
I've done this before, and I was kind of put on the spot, and I was kind of generic about it, and my friends make fun of me all the time. I'm really vanilla with everything, but like the Michael Scott is the best character in The Office. That is the answer. Like Mario to me still is the best character in Mario. Even when you play Mario 2, he's the best. Like I like vanilla ice cream. Like it's not a bad thing. So like I Stone Cold's for what it was, like that to me is what an entrance should be. And it kind of re-solidified what they should be. I love that song. To go away, like stuff that I would sing was Randy Orton's one post Evolution. I can't remember. uh
Oh, oh man, yeah. I can't tell. All I have his voices in my
Hey,
head.
nothing you can
It's
say. Yeah.
nothing you can take what you've done
I
to me.
I'm
Yeah.
just Randy is my favorite ever, so I just really dove into that, and that song hooked me big. So that's gonna fall somewhere on my Mount Rushmore, just because I remember just being annoying to my brother about that song. I sang that so much, but
You do
Stone
the
Cold,
pose too. You put your hands out, and
yeah, all the above.
it is hard to choose. It's like
It's
saying, "What's your favorite match?"
APA. Oh my goodness, when APA came out and that
Dun,
first guitar
dun,
note would hit,
dun,
that
dun.
it
Yeah.
felt like no pun here, but like
Yeah.
somebody's gonna get their ass kicked. Is
Yeah.
it really did feel like that. I loved when APA's music hit, and for that matter, that Attitude Era, that late '90s, like Godfather and Jericho, when their music would start. Again, Stone Cold kind of solidified it, but they just had these awesome first 10 seconds of songs that really grabbed you. Um, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, you think you
That
hit
would
your Mount
be that would
Rushmore list.
Yeah.
But Jericho, I think, I'll never forget, like, this is going to be such a weird reference, but, like, WWE Superstars was a show back in the day, and it was actually matches, and then later on, it was just, like, recaps of Raw and SmackDown on Sunday mornings, and one of the segments was, "Who's your favorite entrance music?" And it was, like, 99, and everyone was Jericho. Everyone's like, Jericho," because it was so different. It was just so different when it happened and when it came out, and from that point on, suddenly lyrics were added to, like, all songs, and because for a while, it was just Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, dun. It's just
Right.
musical entrances. But yeah, lyrics is always a great thing. Ultimate Warriors are always going to be up there in my book
Yeah.
of just you once you hear that first note, you're like, oh shit, someone's going to get hurt and it's going to be entertaining. But man, there's so many things happening, obviously, with your band and with Cody Rhodes, but yet, is there a wrestler or something you have working on right now? Like, is there a wrestler? Because obviously AEW, you have TNA, you have WWE. There's so many organizations that need entrance music. Who's your next project?
So we're doing a lot of indie work. We can thank Chris Van Vliet. Kind of helped. We're terrible at marketing, and we didn't really let everybody know that we were up for hire. We just kind of reached out always when we thought that we could do somebody's job. Um, we're getting hit up by a lot of indie guys, and we're able to one create something for them specifically, so they're not using generic library music
Yeah.
anymore, and we're having pretty good success with that. Maybe somebody even in a WWE family that we've just finished one for as well. He's just starting his wrestling career. I won't give anything else away, but like we just finished one there. As far as big promotions, we're always down to create for more. I'd really like to reach out to somebody that we've worked with in the past and do something for them for the future. And I have reached out recently about that, and I'll let you guys figure that out. I can't give too much away on that
Now you
either.
don't have to guess, but I'm gonna guess it's Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler.
So we just did that for him. So
Yes.
so Wanted Man, we've done that. That song's doing really really well, and he's killing that. Dude, he's one of the best ever to do it. And there's just I won't even hear an argument about it. Like the dude, 20 years. Doesn't matter if he ever lost when he was in a match and he went and it went more than 10 minutes. You're like, oh, he's got a chance tonight. And they
Yeah.
would do that throughout his career. I think the dude is just, he's so underrated, underappreciated. And I think he's going to take TNA to a different height. I think he's just going to raise the standard minimum while they're there, and everything he's doing over in Japan. It seems like he's having just a full blast and all the freedom in the world. And they already got a strap on him. I think he's going to
That was
on the
quick.
table. Yeah, and it's very similar to what we did with Cody. It might be even a little quicker. What his trajectory right now in the business. It's pretty cool to watch.
Man.
And they've
Yeah.
got, and again, all these dudes from Miz on have been the biggest supporters of us. There's not a if they are ever asked about entrances or rock and roll, they always give us a shout out, and they always just keep that candle burning just a little bit longer for us. These guys are incredible dudes, man. I know some of them are bad guys, but like they're good
They're
guys.
good. Yeah, yeah,
All of
yeah.
them are really
Yeah.
good guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have definitely encountered someone where you're like, this person, broke this person's face and they've said these terrible things. You meet them, they're like, nice to meet you. I'm like, Grayson Waller, why are you being so nice? You're supposed to be mean. Like he on camera was very mean to me. He told me he'd slap me in the face if no one was in the room right now. And then as soon as we're done recording, I was like, can we take a picture? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? I was like, because a minute ago you told me you were going to beat the shit out of me. But he's super nice. Now, one more question before we wrap this up. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40. Who's going to win? Are you even allowed to say anyone besides Cody Rhodes?
Oh, we don't know. So we were in LA last year and got to hear all the woes directed down to us when we were on the floor. Um, that was amazing. I can't remember the total there, 80,000 maybe. And
There's a lot.
we were on the
Both nights.
floor. Yeah, that was awesome. And everything, they don't tell us anything. And honestly, we want to go as fans.
Of course,
And
but who do you want to win? Is it
I
obviously Cody?
I want Cody, and what's honestly got me back into wrestling full time is the guys that we work with, and Cody. Anything he does, anything Matt does, anything Dolph does, Nick does. We're watching full bore. Anything Britt does, we're watching. We had a little run with Buddy. I really want like we're just investing in our
Buddy
guys.
Matthews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mims and NWA. This kid is killing it. You guys need to check him out. Mims is. I actually wrestled him back when I was working. Mims is the man. This kid is going to go somewhere, and I think he's still under 30. I think he's got a big future in the business. That being said, sorry, I'm rambling again. I am such a big fan. I don't want to know. They wouldn't tell us anyways. I want to hear my song played twice Sunday night.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I want to hear your song play twice on night 1 and night 2.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes down. But all I know is if Cody doesn't finish the story, holy crap, people are going to be upset. And I watched a grown man. I was at WrestleMania on the floor watching last year, and people were pissed. There was a grown man. I looked him over in like the load section. He was trying to rip his chair out of like the ground to like throw it. I don't know where he was going to throw it, but he really was destroying property.
Mhm.
That's how upset he was. And I'm not saying let's destroy property if Cody Rhodes loses, but what I saw last year was anger. If it happens again, whew, oh my God, I fear for the arena, and those poor chairs better be bolted down twice
Just the
because they're
thought
gonna be
of
ripped out.
just the thought of him not getting the match almost was getting chairs pulled at an empty arena already. So I can't imagine if he does lose. There's such a cool thing, a 4-year thing going on with this Roman Reigns thing, though, that it's really tough to not get to this imaginary number that is only third place that they really are trying to book to, which is an
Yeah,
amazing thing. But
it's hard because
it,
like, what are you gonna do? Go for another like what 60 years to beat Bruno Sammartino's
he's
run?
dude,
I
he's
don't.
so good.
It would
He's
be it
so
would be
he's
crazy if it
so
did
good.
happen. It would be so crazy if it did happen, but, like, in these times, in the worlds we live in where it's like TikTok, you're watching a video, it's boom, 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 you just scroll, 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 scroll. Are we gonna let us scroll super slow for 6 more years for Roman? I would be okay with that, but I don't know if everyone would be.
As good as Seth and Drew have been with that other title, it will eventually get to the they did the same thing in '02 when they presented the other brand's
Oh,
belt.
when they just handed the world championship to Triple H?
It's gonna take a minute for it to mean something, and Seth is doing an incredible job, and so is Drew. So, like, Drew is on fire, Seth is on fire, and the next guy up that they're gonna give a shot to that belt he'll be on fire too. They're not gonna misjudge that one like they did the Universal at the beginning with the unfortunate injury to Finn.
I
So
know. Oh, that was so sad.
I can. One more thing. I'm sorry I go on these tangents. I
No,
love talking wrestling and rock and all
same.
this. I never ever give Frank the Clown
Oh, we're gonna give
any
Frank the Clown some credit.
any love on this. This dude's been a part of the family, and he's one of the also nice dudes. But he probably wouldn't like me saying that because he's such an incredible shit heel. It's one of my favorite tunes that I've ever done. We just covered his buddy doing a Frank the Clown song, and then we added, more words and a funny little rap. That song I listen to all the time. My brother and I, while we were doing the post production on it, threw any circus sound in that we could and just cry laughed at it. And I was like, where are we borderline making fun of it? And then Justin goes, no, I think it's incredible.
It's
And
getting
then
better now.
if you go listen to this Frank the Clown thing that we did for him, it's one of my favorite things we've ever. It's such a goofball tune, and it's so good. If I can put one of our tunes over real quick.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. No, well, we were talking about Kingdom. We talked about so many other things. So talking about Frank the Clown, and what's funny is when I would see Frank the Clown on the front row for years and years and years, and then I saw a picture that he was dating Noelle Foley, and I was like, wow,
It-
it
Game.
it doesn't it good for him, like
Yep.
sir, sir, your clown gimmick. People always say it's not about looks, about personality. It might be both in that relationship. It might be both. But man, Zach, thank you so much for talking about some wrestling, some Cody Rhodes, some Kingdom. And, I think you alluded to it, but you couldn't say it. And I'm just going to pray. I'm going to throw all my coins into the wishing well that you get to perform live, not once, but twice at WrestleMania on night 2 when Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns. So please, crybabies, let's all get together and root for Cody Rhodes. But Zack Call from Downstait, thank you so much for being here on 10 Count Wrestling News Co. I'm Seafall. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.